Chapter 1, Lesson 2 of Pre-Calculus, we're going to introduce functions and their properties. So we're going to look at what is a function or what makes a relation a function, and then we're going to look at the characteristics and how we analyze functions moving forward. So a couple of things was a review from last year, hopefully. Function notation. We're going to use this notation here, read f of x. So here this is y equals f of x, meaning y is going to be replaced by f of x. So rather than having y equals x squared as our function, we're going to use f of x equals x squared. And there's no difference between the two. The y is simply being replaced with f of x. It's not a multiplication problem. It's not something weird. This is just taking the place of y. It's a function notation. It's a way of notating different function. It helps us also as mathematics. As we're looking at multiple functions, we can give them different names. Rather than every function having y equals, we can have f of x equals, h of x equals, g of x equals, or other things like that. So this notation, we want to get used to that and get comfortable with that. Now a function is a relation between x and y. And you remember, as we talked about last year, x is the independent variable, y is the dependent variable. X values are variables or x values that we can put into the function. We then do the simplifying process that gives us the y value. So what we choose to put in for x is usually up to our discretion, and then the y value that's associated with that x value, though, comes from the operation or the function rule. A function, you remember, is where one x value, you put one x value in and you get exactly one value out. Alright, so you put one value in, you get one value out, and graphically speaking, you can look at this or determine this by looking at the vertical line test. So if we have a vertical line test here, so you'll notice here that I have this function drawn right here. Is this a function? Well, if we pass a vertical line through this function, okay, and a vertical line is just representing the x values at that line because all the x values are the same, you'll notice that this x value here of -4 has a y value right here that's produced and a y value down here that's produced. So this one x value of -4 could give me this y value here or this y value here. So because I can get two y values using one x value, this would not be a function. So we can use the vertical line test to help us tell that. So what if we have a different function here? What if we have this? Let's do that, and let's do this. Is this a function? Now let me do this. Is this a function that we're looking at right here? Well, the vertical line test, if we come and we pass it right here, you'll notice that again, this one x value has a y value here and a y value here, so this is not a function either. So now in this function, we have this function drawn here that looks like this. If I pass the vertical line over all these areas, you'll notice that it never crosses that function in more than one place. So this x value right here produces just this one y value. So this would be a graph of a function. So graphically, we can use the vertical line test in order to help us see if we have a function or not. Whoops. Okay, so the vertical line test does give us the fact that if it is a function or not. Now, there are 8 characteristics that we're going to look at when we're analyzing a function. You're going to have to become very familiar with each of these. I will cover one or maybe 2 of these in the subsequent videos. That's tough to say. Subsequent. Ooh, that's fun to say. Elf. What was I saying? Oh, characteristics of functions. Analyzing them, we'll cover these in each of the videos. You're going to need to know what each one of these are, so pick those up in the next videos.